Hey, this is Detroit Bob, and I'm going to jump right into episode 11 of RockMine. I can't believe how successful this thing is going. We're up over 30,000 views, and it's getting bigger every week. So make sure you subscribe and tell your friends and share it. This is becoming like Stone Soup. So you little leaguers out there, look up Stone Soup, because what happens is people are calling me now. I got Terry, my printer, calling me up, and he says, come on over. I've got a stack of 45s waiting for you. I just went to a place called Valpo Vintage yesterday, and Emily gave me a great deal on this stack of 45s, and she says she's going to start looking out for me. And then, of course, don't forget about Stephanie. Remember, she's the one who hooked me up on our thrifting episode. This was full of records, and at the bottom of the crate, I found what might be a one of a kind by Tom Thumb and the Fingermen. It is so fragile. It's a demo. It's an acetate. I don't even want to take it out of there. So this might be the gem of the week, but you got to stick around. I'm going to walk you through all these places, and we'll go over all the records at the end, total them up, and we will, at that point, present our gem of the week. Detroit Bob, RockMine. Hey, this is Detroit Bob. I just got a call from Stephanie at New Creation Resale Shop, and I'm totally geeked because she says she has a box for me. So we're gonna pull in here and see what's in that box, and we're totally gonna get into this little stuff. So stay with me, and let's see what we have. All right, if you guys remember episode 3, putting on the thrift, Stephanie at New Creation. We're gonna go in here and see what she's got. Stephanie, Detroit Bob.
Hey, I'm gonna go grab that box.
Oh yeah, great.
Awesome.
You know, I featured you guys on my YouTube channel.
Did you really?
Yeah, it's so if you look it up, it's RockMine on
Awesome.
YouTube.
That
And
is so cool.
so hopefully you get some free publicity for the thrift store. And yeah, so I called it Putting on the Thrift. And then so you know, you got like a brief scene where you're handing me the box of records and everything.
Cool.
So okay, so what's the damage?
It's not as good as the other ones.
All right.
It's just like I do only 4.
All right,
Brings it to 428.
all right, that's cool.
Awesome.
Yeah,
I was
so-
like, maybe we won't have anything next time he comes.
Yeah,
and-
well, it's been a little while because usually I come I try to get here every 3 weeks, but it's probably been about 6 weeks. So I got my handy dandy card there. So make sure you stamp that. And what was the damage?
428.
4. Probably I got some change. I like to use up my change.
Sounds good to me.
Cool.
Gotcha.
So yeah, look it up. You'll get a kick out of it.
You'll like tag me on our Facebook page?
Yeah, tag me, and then I'll tag you guys back, and then blah blah blah.
That's awesome.
I'm all about helping out local businesses. All the record stores that I go to, I tag them. And then, like you said, like I said before, the 45s are my specialty. So let the staff know and everything, and I get them off your hands, and then go from there.
Dope.
All right,
Thank
cool.
you.
Probably be back in about 3 weeks.
I'll keep an eye out.
All right, thanks, Stephanie.
You are welcome,
Take
sir.
care. Have a good one. All right, once again, Stephanie comes through. I got a big box of records I got to sort through for $4. And you know what? These things just sit around, and they don't have time to price them and put them out on the floor. So I'm happy to take them off their hands. So it's a win-win. I told her about the page. I told her she was the star of episode number 3, Putting on the Thrift, RockMine. And they're going to put me on their webpage too. So Detroit Bob wins, the thrift store wins, and ultimately I got some more gems of rock and roll I get to go through. So check this out. Let's break it down, and I'll give you the info. All right, just got back from New Creation Resale Shop. Stephanie basically came through again, and she doesn't have the time or energy to sort through all this stuff, and I do. So I picked up this batch. We'll go through it. We'll enter it to Discogs. We'll probably even list some of it for sale, and then I'll give you a breakdown. All right, Detroit Bob back at you. I got a call from my buddy Terry, who's a music nut, that he's got some 45s for me. So word is getting out around the region that Detroit Bob is looking for old 45s, and some of my music connections are starting to come through. We got Stephanie down at the thrift shop, and now I got Terry stepping up to the plate. So we're gonna go to his place and see what he's got. I heard Beatles, so whenever I hear that, I get excited. All right, I'm pulling up to Acme Printing. Let's see what Terry's got in store for Detroit Bob. Hopefully we find a gem in the pile. You never know. Well, it looks pretty crowded today. Something must be going on. Well, I'll have to find some parking. Here we go. Right next to the Corvette. Detroit Bob, I'm pulling up to Acme Printing, and we're gonna see what they got inside. I heard there's some 45s waiting for us, so let's check it out. All right, this could be any strip mall anywhere in America. But when I want something done and I want some music, I go to Acme Printing. So let's see what Terry's got in store. The man, the myth, the legend. What do you got?
Stack right there.
Oh my God. So I saw some Beatles in here. Is this like your childhood
I
collection?
don't even know where I got these.
Okay.
used to play frisbee.
Yeah, I think we did use them as frisbees. This one's from Kellogg's. You ever see one of those?
Kellogg's the
cereal?
breakfast cereal.
Yeah, HR Puffin.
Okay, well, that might be worth something. I don't know. So what I'll
What
do,
about this? Banana
Kellogg's.
split.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I remember the show. What about the Beatles stuff? Did you?
Cheech and Chong.
Well, that's good. That's all good. It looks like someone's private collection because they all have these little stickers on them. And
They're yours now.
okay, cool. What do I owe you?
California dreaming. California girls.
I mean, they probably pressed 1 million of them, but who knows? Maybe it's an odd copy. Okay, so what do I owe you?
Nothing.
Okay, cool. So what I'll do is I'll go through them, I'll enter them into Discogs, and I'll work them into next week's episode.
What about Hey Jude?
It's a great song. Like I said, anything on the
What
Apple
about
label.
this stuff? What is that?
People used to put writing because they went to parties and they wanted to come home with their little 45. So you're going to see this. They had like little boxes and they would numerically save their
Which one's worth more?
45s.
Look at that. It's two different ones.
Keep going.
Nothing.
Some of the early Capitol stuff can be worth money.
Paul McCartney and Wings.
Yeah, you know, like I said, the Apple record label, people like it. This is probably one of the earliest
Look at
ones.
this. Look at
right
this
here.
stuff here. What is this?
That's the dead wax. And in that dead wax, you're going to have where the pressing plant was, who mastered it, when it was, you know, that can be very subtle. That's early, and Atco jumped on that, and that's a demo. That's early too. Tolly was actually a subsidiary of BJ, and that one's early. Was got a bite out of it.
Someone took a bite out of it. I think when we were tossing it across the yard.
Okay, cool.
What about this? There's nothing in it.
That one will fuck up your knee. I'm sorry. That'll mess up your knee.
What about this
What
one?
about the
What about
edit-
another one bites the dust?
Queen is hot right now, so yeah.
Never played.
Yeah,
Look at this
so
one.
that might be a good
What about
one.
Mr. Roboto?
Good stuff.
That's a good one.
Steve Martin.
Not so much.
You sure?
Well, it's in good shape. He's got a hit
yeah.
show right now. Someone will buy it probably.
Look how
It's
thick
probably
that
worth
thing
about
is.
$3. Now, this is very cool. This is a nice little collection.
What about this?
The picture sleeve's probably worth more than the record, but it's in pretty good shape. So I'd say that was a very good plus. So all that
nickel.
is good. So, like I said, guys, Terry's the guy you go to. I gotta take this call.
Don't be there.
Another thing about Terry, he's got the badass flannel shirts. I'm a little jealous right now because I thought I was rocking it with my Beach Boys Pendleton. But apparently he's got the Pennywise. And where do I get the Nirvana one?
You gotta know somebody.
All right, just stopped at Acme Printing. Terry came through. I got about 50 45s here. I got some picture sleeves. I'm going to go through them one by one. It's a good little stash, and there might be a gem in there. We don't know. But definitely people are starting to pick up on this RockMine idea, and they're starting to contribute. So if you hear about anybody who's got some old 45s, get a hold of Detroit Bob, and I'll see if I can't work you into an episode. Cheers. Hey, Detroit Bob back at you. Stopping at a place called Valpo Vintage. And I've been here before. I've had good luck with them. They've always been good to bargain with. And for some reason, I've come out here with some good soul, jazz, and blues. So let's see what they got today. I'm still trying to figure out what the heck Northern Soul is. But I got a guy in Europe that I've connected with via Twitter that's educating me. Apparently, it's a subgrouping of soul records that really made it big in Northern England and got played by the DJs during a lot of these guys' formative years. So I got a list, and I'm going to start working that list and see if I can dig up some Northern Soul. Maybe today is the day. All right, so let's go in and see what's going on. Valpo Vintage, I've had some good luck here before, and they've always been willing to work with me. Right in the heart of the downtown area, the square they call it. So, wish me luck. Here I am again, in a record store. Imagine that. You know, I saw a little meme earlier in the week of like a 10-year-old boy sitting in front of a huge shelf full of records with his back to the viewer, headphones on, album opened up in his lap, and just lost in time and lost in the music. And it reminded me of the way I felt when I was a kid. I didn't have brothers, so I wasn't running around the house throwing around the football. I had sisters, and they had an amazing record collection. In the eyes and the ears of a 9-year-old kid, this was fascinating beyond your wildest imagination. The sights and the sounds, when you could combine the lyrics that were printed in these albums with the drawings and the artwork and the colors on the sleeve, with the sonic vibrations that were entering your head through true stereo sound. It was like being transported to another world. So every time I go back and look through records, I go back to 1972, where I would run home from school, go into the den, sit down, and put on an album. So singles are great and they're very collectible, but really what turned me on to all these great songs and great 45s and great singles were the memories that were created in the mind of this nine-year-old boy in 1972. And I often wonder if the experience is the same for other people, or if it's just me, or if it's just my brain, or the way I'm wired. But music is very powerful, it's very soothing, it's very moving, and it really can take away all your troubles, given the right record. I remember in particular, and this was probably when I was more like 11 or 12, Elton John's Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. And that album, with the artwork and the songs, just changed the way I listened to music. I mean, when I heard Benny and the Jets, I thought I was in that audience. I thought it was a live concert and that I was in the front row. Hey, Detroit Bob back at you. I got that first stack from Terry entered. I like to get about 50 within an hour, and I hit that mark. Some of the novelty stuff priced really well. H.R. Puffin stuff on Kellogg Records for $26. The Beatles, the Beach Boys always do well. Some good, some bad. The condition was a little rough. I got the first stack done. I'm on to Valpo Vintage now. And I got a little more blues and soul, so you Northern Soul fans are going to want to pay attention. I'll sum it up at the end. See you in a few. All right, this is the last batch from Stephanie, and they were all put in these little plastic lunch bags, sandwich bags, if you will, so it's sort of unique, poor man's sleeve. But I'm going to enter them and see what the value is. This is the last batch, and then we'll do the summary. All right, Detroit Bob for the wrap-up. Great week, a lot of fun. I'm not even calling this thrifting anymore. I'm calling it Stone Soup, because these were pretty much great giveaways to the cause of the RockMine nation, if you will. Let's start out with Stephanie. I'm still going through her box. I paid $4 for the box. I'm up to 417 in Discogs value, and I got probably another third to go. And let's move on to Valpo Vintage. Paid $21.40 for that batch, if you will, and the value is $120. And let's go on to Terry. Terry came through also. I paid $0. It was a donation, and the value is $130. But the gem of the week is definitely this one right here. And if you look real close, Tom Thumb and the Fingermen. Now, I spent a lot of time researching this. I had to go over to my buddy from Illinois, Ken Voss. He runs the Illinois Music Archives. I think he is the best musical archivist in the area, and he put a value at this at about $300. I've already been offered $175. You can see it's an acetate. Part of the rings are falling off on the edge. It does have a B-side, Over You, and it's recorded in that sweet spot in 1966. As a matter of fact, it says July 16th of 1966. So this is when the Beatles were on the airwaves with Rubber Soul, Revolver, and the garage rock craze was taking over America. Now stick with us, because after this segment, right after this little piece, I'm going to play a little snippet off of this record. It may be the first time it's been heard in the web ever. So thanks also to my Northern Soul guys over in the UK. These guys know their stuff, and even they were a little bit stumped. We did find another Tom Thumb, but we're not sure it's the same group or the guys. And Ken Voss, once again, big appreciation there for all the research. We're going to feature you on a RockMine. A quick update. I've tested out the market. So these Discog values are not pie in the sky. I've sold 14 records for an average of $7.40 a piece. So I'm finding out that even a good plus, very good, hits the mark on the real marketplace. So if you want, you can go to the Detroit Bob Discogs and you can own a piece of the RockMine. So check that out too. And I got about 1,000 for sale right now. But my goal is to have 10,000 for sale at all times. I want to get these into the hands of archivists, and then I want to get a Monkees record into the hand of a teenage kid that wants to have some fun listening to records. I'm encouraged by the comeback of the 45s. Obviously, the value's there. If you're willing to put the time in and do the homework and archive and research, you can have a great collection, you can have a lot of fun, and if you want, you can make a little bit of money. All right, next week, I think we're going to do Michigan too. I know we got some exciting locations coming up. We got Hawaii coming up. We've got Colorado coming up. We have Kansas City coming up. We got Florida coming up again, and possibly a secret surprise return trip to Detroit. So stay tuned for that. This is Detroit Bob with the RockMine. We'll see you next time. All right, here's a little clip of Bud Pressner's label, 1966, No Real Love for Me, by Tom Thumb and the Fingermen. It sounds like garage rock, and it looks like an acetate, so I'm going to start it a little bit in. So there you go.